From the distinct white arches of the hillside cemetery where her brother and
Or are they just
what it's like living in a village that
We are going to be checking out Aberfan, 50 years since disaster wiped out a generation. Oh, this is the first time we are hearing about this, and we are going to be diving
where is
into the
Aberfan
video.
located?
I think this happened in Wales.
Wow.
Wow. Okay.
in Aberfan, as Gaynor Madgwick knows only too well, the past is never far away. From the distinct white arches of the hillside cemetery where her brother and sister lie buried, both dead before the age of 11.
We are all this grave as a result of the incident we are talking about.
Jesus Christ.
Or are they just talking about her family? I'm really
I think
confused.
they say wiped out a generation. I think it's as a result of the incident.
To the mountain above, where it all began.
Just a traumatic, loud banging noise, and it just literally got louder and louder and louder. Something was coming.
That something was 100,000 tons of coal waste, liquefied by springs underneath, now streaming down the mountain. It wiped out 2 farm cottages first. Next in line, Pantglass Junior School, where an 8-year-old Gaynor had just started her lesson.
When I turned to look out of the window and run, because I knew something was coming, but you just can't imagine what, I just seen black. It was literally black coming through the window, and then it was almighty silence.
It's an incredible sight. The whole mountain is moving again.
People poured into Aberfan to help, as parents looked on, desperate for news.
We had a little girl out, she must have been about 5. She was just crying and asking to go home when we got her out, you know. And we felt that you could have cried for her or not, you know.
One girl buried under the debris for nearly 2 hours that morning was 7-year-old Karen Thomas.
Everything just caved in on top of us, and we were in darkness, we couldn't move. We were calling for the dinner lady, but she wasn't speaking to us. But my fingertips could just touch her hair, and I remember trying to pull her hair, but there was no response off her at all. So it was just us, just crying and screaming.
Karen was saved by an air pocket.
So this is actually a moving mountain.
What caused the will I say shift? I don't know what is it
I just
an
want to.
erotic like eruption of a volcanic, an active volcano or something? I don't know. Because honestly,
The Aberfan design was a local wasteland slide. Okay, it's a landslide
oh,
that occurred in Aberfan Ways on October 21st, 1966. The coal waves in the what? Ah.
that's just sad. Honestly.
The result, she thinks, of the dinner lady's initial efforts to shield her. Do you think about her?
Oh yes,
Oh, the suffocation.
I haven't told anybody up until now, but I go to the cemetery to put flowers on her. That's the only way that I can say thank you to her.
Fear not, for I
Created. A story of catastrophe compounded by injustice.
Injustice.
Look at all the kids.
story of catastrophe compounded with injustice. What do you mean? What does he mean by the word injustice in this term? Please explain further. Like
They say this was one of the biggest mining disaster in history, which means there must be a mining company
there,
in charge of that coal. Do you understand? Maybe there was something that would have been done
that
to
wasn't
prevent it. But most companies, right? I don't really know whether that's what happened, but most company, in order to cut down costs, they follow the easy
or
route.
probably it was overmined or
Do you
something.
understand? So that might be the way he's referring to. Look at the
And
kids
what
that
of
they're mentioning
Aberfan
their
now?
age here.
Coal.
7
10,
and
9,
10 years.
7. No wonder the word there they used wiped out a generation. Like I was still trying to understand what they mean by that generation. But now I really understand because the kids are our
And to
future.
be honest, they actually die in a very
Very
painful
horrible
way,
and
like
painful.
due to suffocation. Like, oh no.
Coal once completely dominated this valley. From the pit head below to the slag heaps above, it was all pervasive. So many lives here were shaped by it, and so many lives on that 1 October morning were taken by it. Few villages have had this industry so viscerally embedded into their story as Aberfan. And yet look around now, and barely a trace remains. There is the miners' monument on the road in, but the colliery and coal tips are long gone. And amidst the little changed streets, where the school once stood, lies a memorial garden.
Hold the spade and tip it, just pretend you're on Barry Island Beach. That's it. Well done, well done.
Local schoolchildren help plant a tree. Standing within this immaculate garden's neat edges, the footprint of the old classrooms once filled with children their age on a Friday morning before half-term. What does it feel like to be here where the school used to be?
It feels amazing to be a part of this big thing. It's very sad, but you can also keep on going on.
You live in Aberfan, do you, Lily?
Yeah.
What's the best bit about living in Aberfan?
And the best bit about living in Aberfan is that you can play with your friends every day and you know that it's a safe place to play.
Their innocence.
Soon after the disaster, in Aberfan they formed the Anisoan male voice choir. It's still going strong. Brian was another who left the school that day alive, but his sister didn't. Can I ask you what it's like living in a village that forever has this sort of disaster tag attached to it?
I think it's something you learn to live with. You have to. The amount of times I've gone for job interviews,
Very hard to
you say where you're from, and you can see them calculating in their head what age you, how did it affect you, and I've always spoke about it because I think it's better to speak about it than keep it. If you keep it inside, it can eat away at you. I had away quite a lot of my friends.
The scar tissue of Aberfan is still healing. Karen still suffers debilitating nightmares. But the sense of community, of a bond forged in grief and then nurtured tenderly over 50 years, is clear.
There'll always be a bond in Aberfan, especially amongst our generation, that the ones that are still there, you know, and I think we'll all still be close to each other because whenever we see each other, we do, you know, make a fuss of each other.
Some here have never spoken publicly about what happened until now. Some still can't. In Aberfan, the impact of that terrible morning, half a century on, remains profound.
Really sad.
No, this is touching for real. I saw this video and I was like, the title was really captivating. I was like, let's actually check this one out. And diving deep into this is really heartbreaking because, as you said, some people can't even express how they felt from that day up to now. They just want to bury their memory in any part of their minds, never to talk about it. I just imagine the parent that was actually affected by this whole thing, because these are kids from 7 to 10 years. You literally took them to school that day, and you are just
The result was now different. Honestly, if this was someone's mistake, fault, or anything, how do you sleep at night knowing your mistake caused this?
lives.
Because honestly, I'm just trying to hold it in, but thinking about the age gap, the age group that this
That was
affected,
affected.
it's really disheartening. I hope we can do better. I hope we have been able to do better. You know, I'm talking about this like it's something that just happened recently, but to me, that's how it feels. Like it's something
Because the
recent.
people that is actually affected
Are still
firsthand
alive.
they are still in pain. They still
They are still
remember
in
the
pain.
trauma of that day.
So
Please let me know what you think about this down in the comment section. This actually broke me, made me emotional, to be very honest. I'll see you guys on my next one.